News 3 Game of the Week coverage. I'm Zach Stone alongside Connor Fredlin. Connor, we've gotten through three major steps for us. We're on that last step to get this show done.
Of course, we've got to talk about the Sparklones and what they need to do to win this football game.
Yeah, Bushnell Prairie City High School, West Prairie High School co-op football team. They are coached by David Rodis, and this team last year, really solid team, 7-3 under Coach Rodis. They were a playoff team, got bounced out in the 2A first round, but again, one of those teams that really, really dominates with their run game. In their Week 1 game against A-Town, Bushnell West Prairie was really something fun to watch because it was the first time you got to see them without their star receiving threat, Devin Yoakum. Again, the sun was shining down in Bushnell during that Week 1 matchup, and we talked about the main man, Charlie Hensley. You're going to see him here barreling through the tackle, fighting for those extra yards, and just showing off that big shoulder that he's got. And you know what? That arm can do other things than run. I mean, he's got a gun. Look at this. Big, long throw on the other end. Brotherly love, Bushnell's Prairie City High School. It's Will Hensley.
You know, we went over that Week 1, and it was one of our trial runs for the show. And watching that play, I mean, brother to brother, there's no better connection in all sports, and you see it all over the place nowadays.
Yeah, no, if Charlie and Will can get on the same page again tonight, it could be really, really ugly for Rushville Industry. But again, the defense is where Bushnell West Prairie are strong. You see the pick there by the cornerback, and they stopped this A-Town quarterback multiple times throughout the night, knocking down passes and causing some big problems. Now, this is one of the backs you need to keep an eye out for, 27, Wes Rhodes. He's one of those backs that when we get into the red zone, that 20 yards and in, it's down and power time for Wes. He's coming off the tackle, and he's going to run 12, 13 yards every single time. And then this leads to misdirection because I missed the shot there, but Charlie Hensley goes bootleg around the right-hand side, in for the tutty, and Bushnell West Prairie are just going to take that game 22-14, Week 1, getting that first win in the book.
I mean, you're seeing all of those highlights that we just showed you. This is an all-around good football team. Every phase of the game, the Sparklones have it down, and the Hensley brothers also, they just add to that. It's been amazing to watch them play this year, 2-1 record. We're going to see how they do tonight, but the keys for this team, there's probably some pretty good ones.
Yeah, they need to win the battle in the trenches on every down. The thing about this Bushnell West Prairie team is they lost a lot of their senior leadership last year. A lot of their offensive linemen were seniors. A lot of their defensive linemen were seniors. So getting those sophomores and juniors in there, winning the battle where it really matters with the hog mollies in the pile, those 10 or 11 guys fighting for 3-4 inches. That's where BWP needs to win on every down tonight.
Well, yeah, you mentioned, and then number 2, force the defense to commit to the run.
Yeah, again, what Bushnell West Prairie can really open you up if their passing attack gets going. The reason that their passing attack gets going is because of Wes Rhodes, is because of Charlie Hensley. Those guys who are picking up the ball and putting it on the ground. Last week they had 50 yards through the air. Charlie did not have a lot of passing attempts, 186 yards on the ground. So they're a ground and pound football team. This is Midwest Central Illinois. This is not going to be throw the ball down your throat. This is going to be 3 yards every single time down the throat of the offensive line.
And one of the things that really, really helps you when you're an offense that can do that 3 yards at a time, you wear that defense out. You wear them out big time. You go down the field, methodically down the field, and the defense is going to get worn out, and then you get the ball back, and they're still going to be, breathing heavy. They're still going to be needing those water breaks, and that's really something that helps them, and that leads us to the third point.
Yeah, you got to win on the offensive side of the ball so that you can give your defense the opportunity to rest. And my key for the Bushnell West Prairie defense is they need to gang tackle. You can't allow the backs, like we talked about earlier, from Rushville Industry to get the ball moving. You can't allow them to start chopping their feet and winning the battle in the trenches because, again, you need to win the battle in the trenches and you need to gang tackle. If you get 2 or 3 people wrapping up on either one of those backs, Allen or Quinn or whoever, you're going to have multiple people bringing them down and not allowing them to gain those 2 or 3 extra yards. That ultimately can mean the segue to a longer drive.
And Zach, I've got to ask you, I know my answer, who are you most looking forward to seeing tonight?
I would probably say it's still Charlie and Will Hensley for me. I want to see if that connection for the Hensley brothers comes alive here tonight in Scioto. We saw glimpses of it in that A-Town game, and Will is still a young receiver, only a sophomore, so he's just now starting to get his varsity playing time. So I would say that Charlie Hensley is my pick. Who's yours?
Javin Quinn. We mentioned it, Rushville Industry, the Rockets. Quinn had that 122-yard performance on the ground against Monmouth United in Week 1. I'm looking for Quinn to do that once again here tonight.
Again, News 3 Game of the Week coverage coming to you from Scioto tonight. Follow News 3 WIU TV on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Watch out for Connor's Sports Block on Tuesday, 5 minutes of probably highlights from this. I'm Zach Stone, alongside Connor Fredlin, News 3 Game of the Week in Scioto. We'll have highlights for you next week. Until then, have a good night.